I lay in my bed, the room swallowed by thick darkness, yet the silence was pierced by something else. Faint whispers brushing softly against my ears, like a chilly breeze slipping through a cracked window. At first, I convinced myself it was just my mind playing tricks, a hallucination born from the loneliness that clung to the house at night. But as the whispers grew clearer, curling around my thoughts like smoke, I realized this was no ordinary dream. The clock on my bedside table cast a ghostly green glow. 3:13 a.m. That cursed hour when the world feels suspended between reality and nightmare. I pulled the blanket tighter around my shoulders, my heart hammering loud enough to drown out the distant ticking of the clock. But the whispers continued, growing louder, more urgent, soft, unintelligible murmurs that felt like they were inches away from my ear, desperate to be heard. I lay frozen, eyes squeezed shut, willing the voices to vanish. It's just the wind, I told myself, just the house settling. But then, amid the murmurs, I heard a voice, faint, raspy, calling my name. My breath hitched. I opened my eyes slowly, forcing my gaze into the darkness. The room was empty, yet the whispering persisted, like a veil woven from shadows and sorrow. My eyes darted toward the corner near the door, where the shadows seemed unnaturally thick, almost pulsating with unseen life. The air there felt colder, heavier, as if something was lurking, waiting patiently. A shiver raced down my spine, and I reached out to my nightstand, fumbling for my phone. The harsh blue light flooded the room, cutting through the darkness, and instantly, the whispers ceased. A suffocating silence took their place, one far more terrifying than any sound. I sat upright, my muscles tense, every nerve on high alert. Just as I began to calm myself, a faint creaking echoed from the hallway. My eyes flicked toward the bedroom door. It was slightly ajar, swinging slowly on its hinges, as if pushed by an unseen hand. My throat tightened. I wanted to scream, but my voice was trapped somewhere deep inside me. The door inched open further, revealing nothing but darkness beyond. And yet I could feel it. A presence. Cold, heavy, watching. The whispering returned, sharper, more insistent. Leave, before it's too late. The words felt like icy knives slicing through the air. My heart pounded harder, adrenaline flooding my veins. I scrambled out of bed, stumbling as I tried to steady myself. The house suddenly felt alive, a malevolent entity breathing around me. I dashed through the hallway, every shadow stretching and twisting into monstrous shapes. I didn't look back. I just needed to get outside, to safety. Bursting through the front door, I gasped the cool night air, the silence of the street a stark contrast to the chaos inside. The moon hung low, its pale light casting long shadows over the empty road. For a moment, I thought I was free. The next day, I researched the history of my home. What I discovered chilled me more than any midnight whisper. Decades ago, the house belonged to a family who vanished without explanation. Neighbors spoke of strange sounds at night, cries, footsteps, whispers, but no one dared stay after dark. The previous owners abandoned the place, too terrified to return. I realized then that I had not imagined the voices, the cold presence, the warnings. The house held onto its secrets tightly, but somehow, it was trying to communicate, to warn me. From that night on, I never ignored the whispers. I learned to listen. Sometimes they brought nightmares, sometimes warnings, but always they were there. A dark thread weaving through my nights, reminding me that some places are haunted not just by ghosts, but by memories and pain that refuse to fade. I've since moved out, but I still hear the whispers in my dreams. And I know, deep down, that the darkness never truly leaves. I was just beginning to drift into that fragile space between wakefulness and sleep, my body sinking deeper into the soft mattress, when a strange feeling gnawed at the edges of my mind. It was the kind of feeling that doesn't come with any noise or movement, just a heavy weight pressing in from the darkness around me. The room was pitch black, save for the faintest outline of my bedroom furniture, shadows pooling like ink in the corners. I turned my head slightly, and out of the corner of my eye caught a glint, something small, barely visible beneath my pillow. At first I told myself it was nothing, tired eyes tricking me into seeing shapes in the dark. But the glimmer didn't fade. Instead, it grew sharper, more distinct, until I realized I was staring into two small, gleaming eyes staring right back at me. My heart slammed against my ribs. I didn't want to look directly at them, but the curiosity was overwhelming. The eyes seemed alive, intelligent, watching me with a cold, silent intensity. I lay perfectly still, too scared to even breathe loudly. The temperature in the room seemed to drop instantly, the air thickening with an oppressive presence. I tried to call out, to scream, but my throat felt dry, frozen. The eyes beneath my pillow didn't blink or move. They simply held my gaze, unblinking and merciless. Suddenly, a faint, ragged breath brushed against my cheek, so close it felt like icy fingers grazing my skin. I jerked my head back, heart racing faster than I thought possible. A cold weight pressed down on the pillow, right beside my face, making it harder to breathe. Before I could react, a skeletal hand emerged slowly from under the pillow. Its bony fingers curled around my wrist with a grip that burned cold through my skin. Panic surged through me. I struggled wildly, desperate to escape, but the grip was unrelenting, something beyond human strength. My eyes darted wildly around the room, searching for any sign of what held me captive. But the darkness swallowed everything. Time stretched unbearably long, a blur of fear and silence broken only by my ragged breaths and pounding pulse. And then, as suddenly as it appeared, the hand released me. I collapsed back against the mattress, gasping, shaking uncontrollably. The room was empty again, save for the faintest whisper lingering in the stale air, a barely audible sound, like a voice or maybe just the wind. Morning came, but the terror lingered. When I reached for my bedside table, my hand brushed against something cold and hard. I looked down and froze. A cracked porcelain doll lay there, its glass eyes reflecting the pale light of dawn. Its gaze was hauntingly familiar, identical to the eyes I'd seen beneath my pillow. From that day forward, I dreaded nightfall. Every time I lay down to sleep, I felt those eyes on me, burning with an unyielding stare. Sometimes, I'd sense the cold pressure again on my pillow's edge, the silent weight refusing to release me. Sleep became a battlefield. I would lie awake for hours, heart racing, waiting for the inevitable. The eyes beneath my pillow weren't just watching, they were waiting for me to succumb. I've tried everything, changing beds, moving rooms, even sleeping with the lights on. But the feeling never leaves. It follows me like a shadow, a dark secret pressed close beneath the surface of my world. Some nights, when the house falls utterly silent, I swear I hear faint whispering, soft, unintelligible words drifting from beneath the pillow. I dare not listen too closely, because I know the truth now. Whatever watches from beneath the pillow isn't just a figment of my imagination. It's something real, something ancient, something that waits patiently in the dark, eyes wide open, hungry for the moment I finally close mine.